All right, so today we're experimenting with taking multiple styles of deadlift and kind of putting that into the same exercise or the same pattern as we continue in weight. So for example, we're starting out with a stiff-legged deadlift here. This is just a warm-up. It's just to get the lower back, some blood into that lower back, get those muscles turning on, because the low back would be my weak link whenever I'm doing my heavier pulls. So for me, at least, whenever I'm getting up to that 725, basically 675 and above, I really feel that lower back just kind of start to give out. And it's the musculature in there just being unable to hold that isometric like squeeze. The legs are always good for more, but that back is the first thing that gives out. So I'm really trying to warm that up and give that more attention to make it stronger. So what I'm trying to do past this point is I'm taking multiple variations, multiple parts of my deadlift that just need attention. So for example, for me, it would be power output, more leg drive, because I don't feel I'm getting very adequate leg drive. Like, I know my legs are strong, but I don't feel I'm like pushing through them very hard. It all just kind of seems to be in my lats or in my lower back where I'm like really trying to pull through. So I figure if I could get more attention out of that, like more focus through that leg drive, it would work a tad bit better. So here, what I'm doing is I'm inserting a deficit, which is about a 2-inch deficit. That's what I'm standing on. And I have bands mounted to it. Now the bands, they look heavier than what they are because the rack's a little short, but it's about 100 pounds, we'll say 100 to 130 pounds at the top. So we're just leaving the bands on with the deficit, and we're gonna keep going by plate quarter. So we put a plate on, do that for 3, put a quarter on, do that for 3, put another plate on, do that for 3, and the weight just keeps moving up. So as the workout progresses, the weight only goes up, right? And so what I'm doing here is with the bands on, I am both warming up and getting power work in. So I'm trying to move explosive and powerfully. When the bands come off, well, now I'm focusing more on that leg drive, right? More on that deficit deadlift. And I'm still building up as this goes. And then once the deficit deadlift gets to that point where it's like, okay, that was a good deficit pull, we can't do any more on the deficit for sets of 3 today. So I take the deficit board away, and then that's just normal pulling from the floor. And so the idea that I had is, hey, this is going to build a lot of areas of the deadlift. Like you're stepping away from the deadlift as an exercise for the day, like a variation for the day, and you're moving into the idea of the deadlift as a pattern, right? So my thought is I'm going to try this out, but it should work the deadlift as a pattern more efficiently and maybe a little bit harder than it would otherwise. Otherwise, what I was doing is I would just have like, okay, we're only doing deadlifts from the floor today, or deadlifts from blocks today, or band pulls today, right? But there's so many like deadlift variations and so many points where you can be taking that deadlift and you could be working multiple components. And I figure this way may be a more time efficient way to get multiple levels of intensity in more areas than just the one for the day. So then the idea is this perhaps could save some time, but also give you a bit of a more of an efficient workout over the course of many sessions to get you where you need to go a little bit faster. So what we've seen today in this video is, it's just what I've explained. We start out with band pulls, we go to a deficit pull, and then we go to pulling from the floor. And so what I'm trying right now is 725, and this is the heaviest, right? This is the point that I don't believe I get this weight. Yeah, pretty sure this is where I miss out. But that was the point, right? It's go as heavy as you can in sets of 3 for that day till you can't anymore. And then after this point, what I would be doing is I'm going to go down to 585, something I could do for sets of 10. And the point in doing that is you've done all those reps for sets of 3, right? You've been working this pattern. Well, now you're trying to get the pattern you really want to be good at, so you don't really forget it. You just kind of like grease the groove, and you're building up that capacity. You're still building the capacity. It's been building this whole time. But now through repetition work, you're still hanging on to that stimulus of being good for like, hey, I could still knock out a set of 20 if I needed to call upon that, right? So yeah, at that point, this sums up the video, and check out this nasty cut I got. But yeah, like and follow for more.